probably one of my first experiences at not University of Oregon, at San Diego Chargers is being a free agent, right? So I was with the Saints for 5 years and I became a free agent. When that happens, you can be able to choose where you want to go. Okay. And typically money talks, right? So anyway, did all that, signed the contract. So then a couple of weeks later, now I'm there. I'm there at San Diego. I'm at the facilities, and it's like your first day at school, your first day on the job. And even though, I'm 20 at this time, I think I'm 26, and, I'm a veteran now. I'm going into my sixth year, but I remember like feeling all those, the butterflies again, right? Going into a different environment, a new environment. And I remember, man, going into the locker room, about to work out. I'm one of the first guys there. I am the first guy there. And I'm getting changed. And I hear somebody who just came in. And so I kind of turn around and I look. I said, oh, that's Junior Seau. Oh, that's greatness. And I remember like being like a little kid. Like I wasn't the 26-year-old, first round draft pick going into a sixth year. No, I turned into like that 10-year-old kid that was, right. And I remember him saying like, hey, are you Alex? Yeah, man. Hey, Alex, man, Junior, great to meet you. Man, you're going to help us out so much. We're so excited to have you on our team, man. It was totally different than the experience I had when I was with the Saints. My first day with the Saints after I got drafted, and the next week it was a mini camp. And I'm there with some older guys, right, in the locker room. And one of the guys who I looked up to, I remember watching him when I was a young kid. His name was Rufus Porter. Rufus came over to me and I thought he was going to come and shake my hand and kind of do what Junior did. No, the first thing out of his mouth was like, damn, son, look at your teeth. Man, you need to get those things fixed, yo. I had terrible teeth, Mike. I was very self-conscious of my teeth. And, it was one of those deals that I didn't have enough money growing up. I couldn't afford braces. But that was the first interaction I had when I was with the Saints. And I can tell you right now, we won 3 games, not because of that, but I'll tell you the type of chemistry, the type of culture, the type of atmosphere that you can have on someone. That interaction with Rufus compared to the interaction with Junior, totally different. And, we went 9-7 that year. We should have went way farther, but that was probably the most memorable and impactful, I want to say, conversation or moment I had when I was with the Chargers. And I think anytime you have success on any type of platform, you give up a little piece of you. And for those who don't, they are very disciplined. But when you start to, your ability to do something gets wrapped up into the success, and then all of that intertwines with your character, what tends to happen is your identity is wrapped up with what you do. And for me, my identity was I was a football player. It wasn't, I played football. No, I was a football player. My identity was football. So when I stepped away from it, like I was lost. And I remember trying to, figure out what my next career move was going to be. And I ended up getting an interview opportunity at this nonprofit because I said, man, I did a lot of nonprofit work when I was playing ball. Maybe this is the route. Long story short, ended up going in, got an interview. And about halfway through the interview, the lady stopped it. She said, Alex, I'm going to stop you right now. And mind you, I'm former NFL, played defensive back, a lot of confidence. I know how to study. I did my research on the, on the field and then also in this job opportunity. And I was nailing it. But the deeper question she asked about who I was, I couldn't answer. And so she stopped me. She said, sweetie, let me give you a little bit of advice. First of all, you're not going to get this job. You're not going to get this job. And before you go on any more job interviews, you need to find out exactly who you are. I got up, she got up, told me, walked me to the front door, told me good luck. I walked to my car and I cried my eyes out. And that was the beginning of the journey that, man, I need to find out exactly who I am and what other skills do I have? And, for me, I had to look, what can give me joy? So what gave me joy is I had to look back when I was a 14, 15-year-old, and it was, working out, training, to become a better football player. And so, I got dialed in with that and, had a very successful career at Nike. I trained athletes, giving them information. I was learning things on influence. and leadership and becoming not just a healthier person, but some of the things that I started to research within my own life is, man, it's leadership. And leadership is influence. That's it. People fluff it up. They don't boil it down. They set it all, all these fancy words and what style and whatnot. No, break it down. Leadership is influence. So once I learned that and I started to apply that to my own life, man, that's when I was like, man, I know what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, where I want to go. And I know people become a better person. You can have more influence in your professionally and personally. Just like anything else, it takes to have success at home, at work, whatever, and understand like who do you have to be to have success in those different environments. So that gave me more confidence the more I was able to study the game film. So know my opponent, know who I'm going up against, but also understanding like my strengths and weaknesses. And then how do I use them? How do I kind of guide it and use, other things or other people that can help me still get the job done? Even though it's a high pressure, the pressure is going to be there. Am I going to be okay? Am I going to be okay with failing? Early on in my career, it crushed me. But then I had to understand, like, man, that they get paid too. They get paid a lot of money too. So giving myself a little bit of grace helped out tremendously. I always, ask myself, am I okay with things not being fair? Right? Is that fair? Me going up against somebody I'm hurt, I'm beat up, or I have a new offensive or a new defensive coordinator. There's new language that I have to learn. Is it fair? So first, like, is it fair? Right? Sometimes it's no, sometimes it's yes. So I would say removing emotion, and it's an influence. Intuition is an influencer. It's something that we talked about influence, right? What leadership is. Intuition is a huge influencer, but I'm talking about in a way that how you feel and how you make others feel can influence them to come to you or to go away from you. Well, let's have a discussion before you move the goalpost to see what we can do, who we can put in that position to have success. You can learn things from great leaders. You can also learn things from not so great leaders. So one thing that he would say is, hey, you can always come to my office. I'm on the second floor, I'm on the top floor. You can always come in there. My door is always open. Never say that. That's not that doesn't mean that you're a great leader. My door is always open. When you are when you're at the highest, you're the top dog. It's intimidating to have somebody, for somebody to go up and walk up and knock on the door. Hey, can I have a moment? What's more impactful and what good leaders that I've been around with, when you're up here, you go down to the people. Hey, how can I help you? How can I make your job easier? Start to build relationships. Coach Dicker, he wasn't like that. So he's an old school cat. I was a starter. And then all of a sudden I lose my job. And so I'm asking like my DB coach, man, what do I need to do? But because I see these things and I feel that I'm putting the effort and the skill and I'm doing all these things to, for me to keep my job. Plus I'm one of the highest paid guys on the team, but I don't understand this. Tell me what I need to do. He said, Alex, you got to go take that up with Dicker. So that's when I said, okay. Yeah, I remember him saying his door is always open. Let me go up here. Go in there. Hey, coach, how you doing? Yeah, can I have a talk with you? Yeah, sure. Come on in, Alex. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out, like, what do I need to do to get back on the field to get my starting position back? Well, Alex, we just feel that you're not putting forth the effort. You keep making these bonehead plays and whatnot. I said, okay, I get that. But the guy who's I'm also competing with, he make those same bonehead plays as well. Well, Alex, if you want to leave, then if you want to get traded, then, we can get, I said, well, I don't want that to happen, but I'm okay with it. And then from there, it just escalates. Now we're screaming on top of each other. And finally, I can't remember a whole bunch after that, but I remember me being escorted out of there. And now, like, I'm not even on the field at all. Look at the environment. Look at the culture. of professional football. Man, what other job do you get to yell at your boss and still keep your job? I don't know of too many other occupations where you can be able to do that. But that was something that I got in my emotions because I felt that I was being treated unfair instead of just like having a healthy conversation and then take it from there. I think just like, I look at my life and I look at the things that has happened to me, what has gave me success and for me, having success in football, one of the big things that gave me success in football is I didn't grow up watching it. I didn't grow up playing it. My dad didn't throw the football to me. I didn't play, like I said, organized football until 8th grade. But one thing like my dad really told me, or he instilled in me is like, hey, Dad, I want to learn football. Can we watch it? No, we ain't watch it. Well, I want to learn it. And this is prior to the internet. Okay. He said, son, we got to set an encyclopedia. Why don't you go look it up? So I looked up, and thank goodness they have football. And I learned it at the foundational level. And that gave me a lot of success because I can always return to what the foundation is. And so when I like leadership and looked at it in history, like it's influence, right? What is influence? Where there's 10 influencers that's going to push people to you or push people away from you. Like let's say my top 5. So my top 1 is character, which is who you are. That's number 1. Number 2, for me, is relationships. Another thing we already talked about it was intuition, how you make people feel, how I feel, and how you make people feel. My 4th one is platform, what you do. And then for me, one of my influencers is not success, but it's failure. Why did you fail? Those are my top 5 out of 10. And when you can look at it from different angles too, right? When you look at something like we used to watch film, it wasn't just one angle. We saw it at multiple different angles. When you can see problems more or different perspectives, you can make better decisions moving forward. One person who really had a ton of success because of this one coach, I only had him for 1 year. The thing that separated him from any other coach that I had is he gave us assignment, alignment, and adjustment. Assignment, knowing your job, knowing your role. And then get deeper, you got to know other people's assignment because now they can hold you accountable to your words, actions, and responses. Also, your alignment. How do you align? For me, it was difficult, but when I dug deep, I was like, I need to align myself. With me, it should be, but my faith, my family, my health, my career. And once I got all that aligned correctly, man, I slept better. And then the last part is adjustment. Like what adjustments are you ready for on the football field? Nobody just hikes the ball. So you have to be ready to adjust. You can't be what they say, you can't be reactive. You got to be proactive, be ready for these things that happen. For me, as I need to start, and especially when I retired, I need to start adjusting who I am. I need to start adjusting like my character because it's not serving me anymore. I understood this once I stepped away from the game and then becoming an entrepreneur. I got myself a coach. And so with having a coach, first he asked me different questions to find out who I am. And then from there, it's like, okay, where do I want to go? Getting a coach that can be able to basically hold up a mirror and hold me accountable to my own words was crucial. Those things done, especially here in America, right? When sports is king and you see, all you can do is turn on ESPN, okay? Athletes who get a free pass from their character. You can ball out, you can be this, that, and the other, and then you can be an asshole. You can do all this stuff and people won't pay you 2 cents. All right, that person is pretty. And I fell into that. Once my coach held that mirror up to me and I was appalled. I was like, I don't want to be like that. I need to treat everybody the same, no matter if they can add value to me or not. So that was the beginning of me working on me. Treat people how you want to be treated. So working on yourself, getting somebody that can hold you accountable. Yeah, how do you surround yourself with the right people? Get to know them. And does that character that you see them, is it something that you want to be involved with? But there was another quick story. I was with the Washington Redskins, and I signed a contract, got a big signing bonus, and I'm there. And I look on the board. Damn, I don't see my name. The equipment manager, he comes over and says, hey, Alex, if you take your playbook up to the general manager. So I walk up there, knock on the door. He said, yeah, so we're going to let you go, man. We appreciate all you've done for us. Good luck. And so I gave him my playbook, and then the two security guards right behind me, and then they escort me out of the facility. And I was blindsided. I never pictured myself being in that position. So I teach my clients, my leadership, my personal development clients, to be ready for the worst case scenario. Do you have the character to still push through? I thought I was done with football. And then when I looked at it, I was like, I'm not done with football. Because the next day, the Detroit Lions signed me. So I looked at it like, man, I'm not done with football. I didn't fit what they wanted. There was other teams that saw value in my experience and in my character. They gave me another shot. So everybody just focused on the best case scenario. I would say also be cognizant of the worst case scenario. And do you have the character to survive it? Your job, your career, no matter at what level, what you're doing now is important. And if you love it, that's phenomenal. That's great. But it's what you do. It's not who you are. And my son, he's heard these stories before. And he knows that, man, who you are is more important than what you do. Okay. Because who you are, you can take that in any environment. And once you know who you are, you know what drives you, you know what your purpose is, you know what your values are, you can take that in any environment and have success, or at least have a foundation of success. But if you get wrapped up in what you do and it becomes who you are, and now that foundation is taken from you and you're lost. You hear these different stories, they're painful, they're sad, because what they did became them. And some people who are close to them didn't give them a heads up. Like, man, that's not who you are, just what you do. Find out who you are first.